2 times tapping in. So check, right? I wasn't gonna do this, man, but a viewer had reached out and asked me, man, was you gonna speak on Iran? Man, I wanna hear your take on Iran. I'm like, man, I ain't really want to get into all that, man, right? But I just left the gas station, right? And had to fill up. I was damn near on E. And I'm like, well, let me see something, man, because I know it's been a lot of speculation out there about whether the oil prices or gas prices are gonna go up or whatnot, right? And from the looks of it, not really, right? Usually it might cost me about $79, $80, something like that to fill up, because I use premium. You know what I mean? You gotta go premium, gotta get the good stuff in there. So $79, $80. And today I filled up, and when I say filled up, like, man, I had probably about 20 miles left in a tank, right? And it was about $85. So I'm like, that's not really much of a difference, in the sense that the way that people is all up in arms about what's going on in Iran, and no pun intended, right? But they tripping about what's going on over there and how it's going to affect us financially and affect our economics and all that type of stuff, right? Because if gas prices go up, then the cost of everything else go up, right? Because for sure in America, right? Like if you get anything, if you buy anything, it was delivered via a vessel that uses fuel, whether it be a ship, an airplane, a truck. We get a lot of our stuff through trucks. I don't know, man, do trains use fuel, or are they still burning coal, man? I don't know, right? But nonetheless, right? And so when those fuel prices go up and it costs more to deliver goods and stuff, then those goods tend to cost more, right? So, but at the gas pump, I didn't see much of a difference, right? And you gotta kind of contribute that to, even before you get to Iran, you gotta contribute that to the proper planning, right? And I know they like, man, Iran wasn't playing. They trying to say all that, right? But hindsight 2020, right? They go over to Venezuela, right? Capture their leader, smashing them for their oil, and then Trump get out there and be like, yeah, we're getting along great with Venezuela. As a matter of fact, man, they just gave us 100-some million barrels of oil, man. Good people, man. They just gave us that. And I'm thinking, so when I hear this speech, I'm like, man, like, this is a cold dude, right? It's a cold dude. When you go smash on somebody, take their stuff, and then you come back and like, yeah, man, those some good people, man. They real cool, man. They gave us all their stuff, man. They're real kind people, right? So, anyways, right? So, right, they do the Venezuela thing, right? Take all their oil, and now they're planning with all the American oil companies, right? Conoco, Phillips, Chevron, all the big dogs, right? They had this big meeting about how they're going over there to rebuild the infrastructure, and now have American companies over there sucking up Venezuela for all their oil. You know what I mean? Pause on that. You know what I mean? Right? So that all happened prior. Pardon the view, man. It's bright as hell out here. I'm on the freeway. The sun hit me right in my face, right? But anyway, prior to them even going over to Iran, they went over there and secured that oil, right? And like I say, hindsight 2020. The reason being, at least is what I think, is because they knew that once they took off on Iran, right where Iran sits, there's like a strait, right? I don't know the name of it, right? But it's pretty much a pathway right, where a lot of ships go through, right, moving commerce up and down, but Iran sits right there, right? So when they did that, what did Iran do? Iran started turning ships away, right, shutting that down. Man, y'all not sending nothing through here, right? And so they like, man, but you know, Iran moved a lot of oil, or through that strait, there was a lot of oil that was being moved, right? And so that was a big concern. But when you look back, you're like, well, damn, right? You know what I mean? They did their thing in Venezuela, you know what I mean? Because they knew what they were going to do in Iran, right? They knew they was going to press the issue up over there, right? And now people was like saying, well, you know, they feel some type of way because they like, man, they shouldn't be doing this. Why are they doing this? Blah, blah, right? The story they give us is that Iran, you know, they was developing nuclear energy, right? And they were developing or obtain these things called ballistic missiles, right? What they do, I don't even know, right? But both of them is like these, you know, they could be contributed to weapons of mass destruction. And so America is like, nah, man, we can't be having that. At least that's what they telling us, right? At least that's what they telling us, right? And so a lot of people, they feel some type of way like, nah, man, that ain't cool. You can't be telling people what to do in their own country, and they got the right to this and the right to that, right? Whatever, right? You know, if you ask me, right, the truth of the matter is, America is doing what America has always done, right? America was obtained through violence. America grew and was expanded through violence. America has been maintained through violence, right? And so, you know, once you've established, right, that this is your form of communication, or this is your form of operating, right? You can't really back away from that, right? Because, you know, I guess it's always this thing, right? What would you rather want? Would you rather be loved or feared, right? And some people say, I'd rather be loved. Some people say, I'd rather be feared, right? America chose fear, right? America said, I want to be feared, right? And that's why through all the history of America, everything has been done through violence, right? America made friends through violence, right? America and France, they was at war, right? Now they all friends and shit, right? America and England, right? War, they all buddy. You know what I'm saying? America and Germany, right? War. Now they best friends, right? They each other biggest supporters. You get what I'm saying? So America chose to be feared, right? And so a lot of people, they get this in their head, right? Because seemingly we've been granted all this freedom, all this liberty, right? We can do what we want, say what we want, go where we want, right? That wasn't obtained and maintained through violence, right? They think like, oh no, man, we can't be treating people like this. We shouldn't be doing that, right? We shouldn't be attacking people, right? And now keep this in mind, even when you say that, you can only say that because America is doing what America does, right? America granted you your rights and your liberties to say, or for you to be able to say what you want to say. A lot of times, do what you want to do if it's not against the law, right? Go where you want to go. Your movement ain't restricted, right? You get down there flying out of country, go in and out of these different states. You ain't got to worry about missiles flying, all that kind of stuff, right? Because that's because America is doing what America has always done, right? And you're the beneficiary of it, right? So when you out here complaining like, oh, they can't, listen, man. A lot of times these places that America be going at it with, or they choose, let's keep it 100, right? Them people don't got the rights we got, right? They can't protest against their government, right? A lot of these places, they don't even got social media. They can't even get online to even have access to other information about their government, right? A lot of times, they news outlets is owned by their government, and they're going to say what the government wants them to say, right? So while you over here fussing, just keep in mind you're able to do all that fussing, all that bitching and complaining because you got the right to, right? Them people in Iran, they ain't got the right? They didn't have the same leader for 35 years, right? He do what that's a king at that point. You know what I'm saying? They used to call them kingdoms, right? Now they call it dictatorship, right? You know what I mean? But that's a king at that point, man. 35 years and you don't get to vote, right? And then after he passes, probably go to somebody else in his family, right? So keep that in mind, right? That you have all these liberties because America is doing what America has always done, right? So now, as far as like how they went about it, right, man, fuck. Hey, man, I know it's gonna sound crazy, right? Because I don't think, like, I don't agree with war. I don't agree with violence. I really don't agree with none of that stuff, right? If you can get what you need to get without none of that, that's the route you should take. But keep in mind, early on, America chose to be feared. And you're the beneficiary of America being feared, right? And then keep this in mind, right? America also is pretty young. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these countries, you know, you think about Asia, right? They had a chance to work their kinks out. Let's not forget China, or, you know, the Mongols, I believe, right? They ran through their rampant, which is what we now know as China and all that type of stuff, right? Look how big China is, right? Yeah, the Mongols, they ran through that, right? Conquering, pillaging, plundering everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, England, you know, the whole Europe thing, right? How do you think I think Christianity spread, right? Not to be religious, right? Violence, right? The same thing with the Muslims, violence. You get what I'm saying? And so America, they young on the scene. Imagine this, right? Like, you the new kid on the block. Ain't nobody taking you serious. You know what I'm saying? And you way over there, bro. You ain't even up over here in the mix with all us, right? Think about all the powers in the world is over there. Is in the Eastern Hemisphere, right? We're the only power in the Western Hemisphere, right? We got the whole West to ourselves. They like, nobody tripping about the West, you know what I'm saying, right? Oh, okay, hey, I ain't tripping about the West, huh? All right, bet, right? They smashing. You know, y'all tripping now, y'all see us now, right? But this is the mindset of being young. This is what happens when you're young. Like, a lot of times we look at these countries and we be like, oh, but we forget these countries is ran by people. Right? You're a people. You know people. Right? But you think this is about to be any different than your understanding of people. And we understand, right? Motherfuckers be out there thugging. They get on the block. They new. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to fall under the old regime. They go set up shop somewhere else. The old regime be tripping. They coming up over there. Y'all can't do that over here, right? Or y'all got to pay us taxes. How did America get up out of that? How did they get from up under France or Spain or English, right? Violence, right? So all this stuff about America that you love was obtained through violence, right? When America decided to expand, how did that happen? They went at it with Mexico. More violence, right? More violence. And you love it. You can act like you don't love it. You can act like you got a problem with it. You want to protest and all that type of stuff, right? But when you wake up in the morning, you hop up out your bed, right? You got the freedom to move wherever you want to move to. Go about your day however you want to go about it. You want to work? Cool. You go get a job. You don't want to work? Cool. You collect some welfare or food stamps, some public housing. You get what I'm saying? Hell, you don't want to do that. You just want to be a bum on the street? Hey, go ahead, man. Don't trip. You know what I mean? Come to this place once a month, get you a little check, some food stamps, like hell, they even made it to where, you know what I mean? Like, if you homeless and you getting snapped, you can use your food stamp card to go get hot food. Yeah, man, you go to McDonald's, KFC, all this shit, man, if you're a homeless person, right? This is everything that America affords us, right? How you want to live your life. A lot of these other places that y'all, that ain't right, it ain't right, to be attacking people, because I'm pretty sure a lot of innocent people get unalived, get hurt, right, in the midst of what they got going on, right? And you can complain all you want to, but I mean, if you're exercising your right to protest, you exercise your right to bitch and complain, you exercising your right, whether or not you want to have a job, you exercise your right whether or not you want to be a contributing member of society. If you exercise any of these rights that you have here, right, whether it be to buy a gun, carry a gun, right? Let's keep it in mind, Mexico, right? Even when you enter in, let's say you're driving into Mexico, this is a big ass sign, right? There's a big ass sign crossing the border that say guns are illegal in Mexico. The whole Mexico, right? The citizens of Mexico, they can't even go buy a gun to protect themselves. And we see all the violence that's going on down there. They can't even go buy a gun to protect themselves. You know what I mean? Against nobody, right? It's illegal. It means that there's no gun stores. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing in some of these other places across the world, right? But here in America, you go buy you a gun. You can protect your property, you can protect your home, protect your family if that's what you need to. These places, they can't do that. They're literally just subject to whatever the government wants to do to them. However the government says it's gonna go, that's how it's gonna go, and you better not say nothing about it. Right? And it's one thing, right? Okay, you wanna protest and stand up for the people. For the people, right? But when these is governments going at it, man, this shit way above you. Me too, right? This shit way above you. You know what I mean? Keep living your life, right? Unless you about to join in a fight, you about to join in the military, right? Keep living your life. Let's just keep it 100. You are going to keep living your life, right? Because once this pass, and it will pass, once this pass, you'll be back living your life unless you didn't find something else to bitch and complain about. You know what I mean? And in America, there's nothing short. There's no shorts on shit to complain about, right? We complain about all kinds. Complain about the weather if ain't anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't complain about something, man. You know what I mean? And now let's keep this in mind, right? They also had to, afterwards they had the UN meeting, and you had different countries get up there. They representatives, they were speaking, and all countries, right, condemned. All countries condemned the U.S. For their attacks on Iran, right? Majority of the countries also stated, right, and these is the country that's in Iran's backyard. They're neighbors with Iran. They stated, right, Iran is a threat to the whole region. Right? And Iran should not and cannot have nuclear weapons or the ability to build nuclear weapons. Right? And this is everybody, most of the people over there, mind you, all the countries condemned it, but majority of the countries also agreed that they shouldn't have those weapons, right? Except for 3 countries, right? You got Russia, China, Pakistan, right? They condemned the war all the same, right? And they also said that, they should have the right to do what they want to in their country and all that type of stuff, right? But what struck me though, right, is Russia in particular, right, stated that, hey man, you coming over here doing this, you know, in our backyard, for one, you're right. You're not one of the countries in this region, right? You way on the west. You're not in the country in this region, so you're not gonna have to deal with the backlash of what's gonna happen from you coming over here doing that, right? And right, it could create an economic devastation, right? If I'm saying that right? But they said something like that. So Russia, they brought up money, right? They brought up money, and that's pretty much the gist of it, right? It's always about money. It's always about money. It's always about control. It's always about power, right? Now, when you take that into consideration, right? Money, power. With all this AI stuff going on, right? There's a need for an excessive amount of power, right? Energy, right? And as of right now, kind of oil is like, the top player as far as energy goes, right? So where we get our source of energy from, right? Even when they create all these, whether it be these water stations, whatever they create, a lot of times it's power. The origin of the power is through oil. You know what I'm saying? And everybody is vying for this, right? So if America wants to be top dog, right? We talk about power here. We want to be top dog. What do we do first? All right, we got some neighbors, we really ain't getting along with, but they got a lot of that shit we need, right? So boom, we're gonna go up over there. They hit a Venezuela, yeah, give us that. Need that. Good looking, loved our neighbor, all that, right? Then what, right? They head on across the pond, right? All right, let's shut them down, right? Now when we shut them down, what Iran did, this was crazy, right? They attacked Iran. Iran attacked everybody around them. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, this shit was almost like, a motherfucker got stole on, right? Motherfucker snuck him, stole him, bam. You know what I'm saying? He dizzy. He looking around, he swinging on everybody around him. He swinging on his cousins. He swinging on his brother. He swinging on his mama. You know what I mean? Grandmama, everybody getting swung on. You know what I mean? Because he didn't got punched. He didn't got the shit knocked out of his silly ass, right? So now he's swinging on everybody. And that's what Iran did, man. Right? Israel and the US, right? They mobbed on them, socked them up, boom, 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 left them dizzy. They got up, started swinging on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, wait, hold on, man. Hold on. It wasn't us, man. It wasn't us, right? But them was the only people that was around. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because they attacked Qatar, they attacked Saudi Arabia, they attacked Iraq. I want to say it might have been was it Dubai? Did they attack Dubai too? I think they attacked Dubai. I mean, whatever, right? But they attacked a lot of people around them, right? And then by the time they figured out it was the U.S. and Israel, right? I ain't gonna say by the time they figured out, but it seems that way, right? They started shooting at Israel, you know what I mean? But Israel, you know what I mean, they was deflecting their shit, right? And it's just trippy, right? Just keep this in mind, right? And we talking about war and violence and stuff, right? Man, America has a great position, right? A great position on the map, right? We got one neighbor to the north, right? Which they pretty friendly as hell. You know what I mean? They don't want no problems. You know what I'm saying? They do good business with us, except they borders not open to us. You know what I mean? Like, people want the U.S. borders to be open to Mexico. Canada don't even open their borders to us. You know what I mean? You get your ass turned around trying to cross in Canada. You know what I mean? And then if they let you there, they like, if you plan on staying, you better get your shit together real fast, or you out of here. You know what I mean? We keeping tabs on you. You're not coming up in here and we don't know that you're here, right? nonetheless, right? So our neighbor to the north, they pretty solid, they chill, right? They ain't with none of that, right? Our neighbor to the south, right? You know, the relationship is kind of up and down. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's cool, sometimes